Hello everybody on the internet and YouTube, and welcome to a quick tutorial on something that I've been meaning to share with you guys for a while, called a UserStartup.cheat file for The Sims 2. Now, The Sims 2 is a rather old game at this point. It was released back in, I don't even know, like 2004 or something, so, you know, a long while ago, and consequently some of the game is a little bit outdated. Some of the build mode features are a little bit outdated. You know, there's a couple of things that were definitely improved over the lifespan of the game, and a lot of those things were improved by the implementation of cheats into the game. Things like being able to rotate objects by increments of 45 degrees, things like being able to place objects on or off the grid, things like being able to use the set quarter tile placement true cheat, which helps us to place furniture in more interesting patterns and things like that. The other problem with this system is that the cheat codes can be difficult to remember and rather long-winded, and you know, difficult to plug in and type correctly. So there is a system that you can implement in The Sims 2 called a UserStartup.cheat file. And using this, you can create your own cheat aliases or shortcuts or codes that will put a cheat into action, okay? So this is my Documents EA Games Sims 2 Ultimate Collection folder. There's a folder here, the third one down in mine because it's alphabetically ordered, called config. If we go in here, there's a file in here called UserStartup.cheat. Now, all you need to open this is a notepad, or, you know, if you've got Notepad++, that can be even better. And here you will see, this is my current UserStartup.cheat file. So this section at the top here, and I could even sort of put a line in here to make it more obvious what's what. Hi, it's Editing Beth. Turns out this is a bad idea. If you leave this line in your UserStartup.cheat file, it'll break the file and the aliases won't work. So just a note, don't actually put a line into this file. So this section up the top here, this section is for cheats that you want to enable when the game loads. So these are cheats that I just always want to have on no matter what, and you can put whatever cheats you want up here in this top section of the UserStartup.cheat file. So if we take a look at mine, you'll see the very first one I've got is testing cheats enabled true. Now, I have actually been told that it's dangerous to start your game up with testing cheats enabled. I've never had an issue with it, but it might be worth actually not having that in the top section and creating an alias for it instead, which I'll go through in a minute. But by default in my game, and I don't think I've ever had problems with it, testing cheats are always turned on. Testing cheats is a cheat that allows you to just do all kinds of extra fun, random stuff with your Sims in the game. There's a very special extra menu, and there's also, yeah, just lots of extra features built into testing cheats. So I always have that turned on by default. The next cheat I've got in my user startup file is max num of visiting Sims 20. And this means that I can invite more people to parties in The Sims 2, because I think by default the maximum number of Sims you can have on your lot at one time is like 8 or something like that. So if you've got a household and you've got 4 Sims in your household and you try to throw a party, the game will only let you invite 4 other guests to make up that maximum number of 8 people on the lot. Now, I don't know about you, but that doesn't seem like enough for a party for me. So I've actually upped mine to 20. You can up this to however many you want. I don't recommend upping it above maybe 30 because your game will probably stutter and die, because that's a lot of Sims for it to load at one time. But this is how you can unlock the ability to invite more people over to parties at your Sims house. The next cheat I have in my startup cheat file is bullprop, allow 45-degree angle of rotation true. So by default, every time I load my game, I can rotate objects by increments of 45 degrees using the arrow keys on my keyboard. The next one I have in my user startup cheat file is bullprop, don't merge NH Flora false. So this is a cheat. This is a graphical thing that I picked up from one tutorial or other that I watched on how to improve the look of your towns. So I think what this means is that from my lot, I can see other trees around the neighborhood. I'm pretty sure. Okay, so I think you guys get the basic point of the top section, which is to enable cheats from the start of the game. So now we're going to move on to this bottom section, which is where we create our own cheat shortcuts in the game. So I've got, my first one here is alias moon for move objects on. The description of that is that it enables move objects. And then the second one is a shorter description, but I just left it as the same. alias move is move objects off. Okay, now I could change this to whatever I want. I could just set it as that. So if I type, and I think I can make it lowercase. So if I type M, I could have move objects turned on and MO for move objects turned off. Literally whatever I want. It doesn't matter. It's completely up to you guys what you want to set your cheat shortcuts to. And then here I've got alias snap on and snap off. So this is to enable and disable the snap objects to grid cheat. So if you didn't know, you can completely disable snapping to the grid in The Sims 2, and you can freely place furniture as though you're holding down the Alt key in The Sims 4. It's a really fun tool for decorating houses, especially if you turn move objects on as well. You can sort of layer up pot plants and create really interesting displays and things like that. Yeah, to make your lots look really, really nice. So I've got a cheat shortcut where I can do that very quickly. The only thing about this cheat, guys, is you don't want to use it for anything but decorative items. You don't necessarily want to be placing couches, beds, things that The Sims interact with a lot off of the grid in The Sims 2, because they will struggle. They will probably have routing issues, so watch out for that. The next cheat I have here in my user startup alias section is what I mentioned before: set quarter tile placement on and set quarter tile placement off. So I have this set to quan and quaff. For me, it's just helpful if it's my aliases are kind of similar to the original idea of the cheat. I don't know. But again, you guys could label this whatever you wanted. So this will set the quarter tile placement cheat on. You still need to hit Control F within the game to toggle it on and off, but it just makes it so much easier than typing in this whole big cheat every time I want to turn on quarter tile placement, which honestly is pretty much all the time every time I play. Fun fact, I tried to have this cheat up here in my main section and have it just turned on by default every time I loaded the game. Sadly, it didn't work. I'm not sure why, but that's fine. I just moved it back down here to the alias section, and now every time I enter build mode or buy mode for the first time when I'm playing the game, I'm just like, oh yep, turn it on, quan, and then Control F. Bam, done. Alrighty, so let's say that I wanted to create a new alias for my game. Say that I wanted to make it so that control pets wasn't always on by default, but rather it was something that I could toggle on and off easily. What I would do is I would just create a new alias for it, and I'd probably do that just by copy pasting one of the cheat codes that I already have set up in here just to save myself some effort. And what I would do is I would Control X, cut that part out of there, and create my new alias. So for something like control pets, I would probably make the alias pets on. Oops, hello. No space, there we go. And then to turn it off would be pets off. Oh my gosh, I put a space in again, I'm done. And then in this first section of, what are they called? Quotation marks, there we go. You paste the actual cheat code. So I would paste it in as on for pets on and off for pets not being able to control the pets. And then these next two quotation marks, we have a long description and we have a short description. I'm lazy, so I tend to just make them the same. So I might say enables control hello pets, and then again I would write that in here, and then for disabling it I would say the same thing. Done. And that is a new alias created. If I save this, it's going to be in my game the next time I load it up. I believe you can also create other aliases for even shorter cheats in the game if you're really lazy. I think I could say 5k, and then I could say motherload and set that up as an alias for using motherload. I could also say FF for family funds. Actually, this is one that I wouldn't mind setting it up, but I don't know how to do that because you have to then type the family name as well. Might actually look into that. I wonder if I can create a shortcut for family funds. But yeah, so you can create aliases, I believe, for most of the cheats in the game. And I highly recommend that the cheats you use a lot when you're playing The Sims 2, you put in here as an alias. So once you've created your user startup cheat file, however it is you want to create it, all you've got to do is hit save and then just make sure that it's in this config folder in The Sims 2 Ultimate Collection. Or sorry, if you don't have the Ultimate Collection, you might need to just put it in your default EA Games folder, which instead of being called this would be called The Sims 2, and then there would be a config folder in there. Yeah, so that is how you use the user startup cheat file. I hope that you guys have found this a short tutorial useful. I hope that you will want to use the user startup cheat file in your game. I am going to attach a link down below this video where you can download my user startup cheat file directly if you would like to use that as a base. Be my guest. Otherwise, you can just Google user startup cheat file Sims 2, and I'm sure you'll get a useful one pop up. And yeah, happy simming. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to leave a like, hit subscribe if you're not for more Sims 2 content, gameplay tips and hints and trick, and the notification bell so you know when the videos come out. Thank you so much for watching, take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.